to the new and innovative show, Detroit Uncut. I'm your host, Rico L. Glad that you are seeing this today. This is a new show that's coming into your living room, it's coming into your life. And what the show encompasses, it talks about a lot of different high-profile topics, and we discuss a lot of different things with entrepreneurs, with rappers, with singers, with businessmen, and with politicians. But today, we have two great guests. The first guest is the owner and the CEO of Scott Cam Photography and Promotions. His name is Benny Scott. Benny's been around for a very long time. He is the entrepreneurial perfection of photography and videography. And we also have an independent filmmaker. He's an award-winning filmmaker by the name of Tom Henry. He has 4 different movies that he has out at this particular time. But right now, we have to go to a quick commercial and play a few bills. And we'll be right back.
You were warned to back off, but you didn't do it. Now you've unleashed a demon inside of me that I've kept hidden for years. Big mistake. Now I'm coming for revenge, and I promise you, it'll be lethal.
Deadly Retribution. Dragon Films is having a big fundraiser for the action film Deadly Retribution, Sunday, June 12th, 6 p.m. at the Ford Community and Performing Arts Center.
We're back with Detroit Uncut. And as I promised you, our first guest from Scott Cam Photography and Promotions, Mr. Benny Scott. Hey, Benny, how you doing, man?
Rico.
Everything going good?
Things are going great. I want to say, first of all, thank you for that beautiful introduction. It's a pleasure to be here with you on your show.
Well, you know what, Benny? I've been trying to get you on here for a long time. But you know what? You do so much. You have so many different priorities, and people are just pulling you from every angle to do photography and videography. You know, so I'm just elated that we could get you on the show today.
Same here.
Benny, do me a favor if you don't mind.
You know it.
For all the people that are out here watching, please tell them about who Benny Scott is. Please tell us about Scott Cam Promotions and Scott Cam Photography, Scott Cam Videography, Scott Cam everything. Please enlighten the people, because you know, as far for me, is I know everything that you do, I know all that you've done, and you are a very, very great man. So please enlighten the people.
Well, thank you very much. But first of all, I go back years, Rico. I was tested as a kid, and I came back from an aptitude test showing that I had this desire for the arts. And I was told I was a people person. So ever since then, at about the age of 17, I had this passion for art. Like you said, I had a lot of different things that I wanted to do.
Right.
I like music, I tried to play drums, I did a little acting. So I just constantly kept working myself in the arts. But as I came about, I bought a camera about 20 years ago.
All right.
20 years ago, Rico, I bought a camera. It was the T3i Canon. It was a professional camera. And as I started taking pictures, it just really enhanced me to the point where I said, wow, I like this. To catch the present moment in reality and freeze it And to be able to look at that 10 or 20 years later, was exciting to me. It was just an exciting thing. So I went off to school. I went to schoolcraft, and I started studying film. And I started studying film and studying still photography. And as I got into it, I said, this is something I can really take my time and move on. So then I went into my pocket and bought me another Canon.
Wow.
5D Mark IV. That baby hit me for some money. And to this day, the passion is there where I love taking pictures. I do still photography. When people ask me, well, what is your specialty? My specialty is photography. I take pictures, be it landscape, be it portraits, be it weddings. The art is still the same.
Right.
You learn composition and you take good pictures. So I write out nice little scripts for my people, and I try to give them the best that I can give them, so that way they'll call me back for some more.
Well, evidently they're calling you back repetitiously, because every time I call you to get you to come on the show, you have this gig you got to do, you have that gig you got to do, and I'm not mad at you, because you know we all need that monetary situation coming into our lives for our necessities. But you know, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Since you've been in that for such a long time, you've taken a lot of pictures, you've done a lot of things. What picture stands out the most that you've taken in your mind? What is like your holy grail picture that you took, that every time you think about it and every time you look at it, sends chills down your spine?
Ooh, that's a good one. And I like that question. I do travel a lot. Me and my lady, we travel a lot. I was in Jamaica. When I was coming out, I had my drink, I was coming out of the hotel, keep my camera on me. I was walking down in the back of the hotel out there, and it was so beautiful. I saw the water, and I looked, and I said, wow, the composition was unbelievable. There was a boat, kind of like a canoe there. There was a tree, and it was hanging over like that, and the sun was setting. I said, oh my God, it's beautiful. So I got my camera. I actually had my tripod with me also, because, hey, I don't travel without that tripod. Set my tripod up, Rico, and I looked, I said, that looks like a backdrop. It didn't look real.
Wow.
It was gorgeous. The sun was setting, and there was a tree over here, and the waves was coming in, and it was getting dark. I got my camera there, and I got my composition, and I took it. When I got back to the room, I said, oh my God, it's beautiful. And every day, you know, when I think about that picture, I think, what a blessing to be able to catch nature, God's nature, to put it in composition. It's just beautiful. Just to spare the moment. It was one of my best pictures ever over in Jamaica, which was a night set with the sunset.
Wow. So if that was probably like any other sunset you've ever seen, and you were able to catch that and freeze it and have that as a memory forever. That's a beautiful thing.
And you just said it just correctly. You keep that forever. And that's a beautiful thing. It was emotional. I said, wow. I just said, thank you, God. It's just a beautiful night, you know, and the wind was just blowing. I saw this beautiful composition.
Wow.
I got it. I'll show it to you.
You know what? I envy you. I got to see that.
You're doing a lot. I'll let you see it.
I got to see that. Now, I've always had this question too. How did you come up with the name? What made you come up with Scott Cam Photography and Promotions? And what does it totally entail?
Oh, good. Rico's a very good interviewer. I'm telling you, he's great. Rico, it's a funny thing. Let me see. I think about 30 years ago, like I said, I'm always into the arts. I used to promote shows and become an agent for a band.
Well, wait a minute. What kind of shows did you promote? What bands?
Cabarets. I did a few concerts with R&B and jazz. I tried a few, not that many, gospel, but live entertainment shows, you know, cabarets and with live bands and things. So I was doing that, and I met these guys, a group of guys. We got together and we was promoting shows. But something you had told me earlier, you had mentioned to me, these guys was too vast and tried to do too many things. So here's the thing. They wanted to do stage setup, communications, they wanted to do advertising, watch this now, and they wanted to do marketing. So if you look at that, what do you have there? CAM, communication, advertising, and marketing.
Wow.
That's where I got that from. But back then, Rico, the word then, when you had business, it was called networking.
Yes.
So they wanted to have a big, large company eventually, a networking company called CAM, C-A-M, Communication, Advertising, and Marketing. That's where they came from. But I said, that's too much to do. But they wanted to network. So I kept that CAM, C-A-M, Communication, Advertising, and Marketing. Then, when I had the passion for photography is such a great art. And you know, and Tom know this also, there's endless amount of stuff that we can learn.
Right.
We can never learn the art.
Right.
So I said, I want to keep doing photography, but I'm going to use my name, Scott. I'm going to use CAM, because some people think that stands short for camera.
Right.
Right. So never actually think it's short for camera.
Thinking.
Right. So then I've always liked to promote. And I was telling Tom, I said, Tom, you know, you're a promoter also. We have to promote and make things happen. So I said, okay, Scott Cam, photography and promotions. And that's how I came about.
You know what? It amazes me because, you know, when you come up with a company name, you always want to come up with something that's unique, that somebody else doesn't have, and something that is actually identifiable to yourself. Like for me, it was when I came up with my company name, Rico L Entertainment. Mm-hmm. Rico L is my alter ego, and not only that, but Rico is a portion of my name. It's a portion of my name.
Oh, okay.
So I said, wait a minute. And then my last name is spelled E-L-L-I-O-T-T-L. And I said, I'm going to shorten that, Rico L, Entertainment. And I said, somebody asked me, they said, well, why did you just do entertainment? What does the entertainment encompass? It encompasses all genres of entertainment, whether it's film, whether it's movies, whether it's podcasts, whether it's commercials. It artists, models, it encompasses everything. I said, so instead of me placing myself in a box, I made sure I'm the person covering the box. Okay. So I understand exactly where you're coming from, Benny.
Exactly.
Now, how long did it take you initially to learn the craft and to get comfortable with your craft?
Oh, okay. I say it actually took me about 4 years to get to the point where I really was putting out that professionalism. And that took a lot of time because I'm always studying.
Right.
I took my classes, like I said, at school, craft, college, and film, and still picture, but I'm on that internet all the time, every night, picking up new ways of perfecting my art. And I'm trying to, and I love it because I like to pull the best out of my subjects. And the funny thing, since you asked me that, people don't realize that what makes a good photographer, it's a part of you knowing your camera, knowing how to set the settings. But here's the funny thing, Rico, it's about your subject. It's you. How I can get comfortable and relate to you to pull out the best in you to give me the best pose that you never thought of.
Wow.
To make you feel so comfortable, I can get you right there and catch that moment. Pow! Catch that moment. So it's about getting your subject to feel relaxed and work with the photographer to give me the natural feeling that they never thought they could do. When they hit that natural feeling, I'm right there. Bam! I'm catching it. And when they look at that, they say, that's amazing. So it's about pulling out, you know, the emotions of your subject with knowing your camera. That's how you perfect your art.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I do.
So
as an artist, as a photographer.
When you did that and you're drawing that out of the individual.
Exactly.
You know, I noticed that you seem to be a people person.
I am.
So is that one of the skill sets that allowed you to get them to be comfortable, for them to be able to get that drawn out of them so you can get that still moment?
That's one of the skill sets. Like I said, when I took the aptitude test, ever since I was about 10 years old, I was a people person. And Rico, to come and think about it, I never was that good at fixing cars and stuff like that. And I know that. I said, I can't. Fixing appliances in the house, I never was that great. I was always a people person. And I had that way of making my subjects feel comfortable. And I tell them, I say, look, you make me a better photographer. They say, how? I know my camera. I know my settings. But when I catch that special moment, when they feel like, I say, act like you already got $10 million in your pocket. They say, what? I can do that. Act like you got 10 grand in the bank. And they give you a smile and an expression on their face, and know I'm right there, catching that moment. When they see that, wow, you know, shake your hair and just get sexy and give me all you got. I'll be trying to give it all to me. And
Right.
it's like a conductor. You got to come on with it. When they start getting comfortable and doing that, man, I catch them people, they like, that's amazing. And I said, thank you, because I want you to call me back.
I got this
But
question.
that's true what you asked me. Yeah, that's what I do as a people person.
Have you ever had a person like get into their feelings, show some real emotion, like tearing and crying off of a picture that you took that they felt that it could never be captured?
I've had some that didn't really cry, but they complimented me and they complimented themselves. Like, you know, they say, this is amazing. I never thought I can get this kind of expression. You know, that's why I commonly work with them. They didn't cry, but they said, this is unique. You know, for me to, you know, to change my emotion and give you that type of picture, you see, it's by you trying to pull it out of me. And she was really impressed with that. And I was like, wow, it wasn't me. You the one that gave me the expression. But I'm constantly encouraging them to relax and maybe think about one of the best times in their life. Think about it, was it when your child was born? What expression on your face? Give it to me. Like, wow, you know. You want a small smile, you want a large smile, you know. Just let yourself go. Let yourself become, you know, and just elated. And so she was really impressed. She didn't tear, but she said, that's a beautiful picture, you know. It was all on my subject. But that's an excellent question, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You know, if I took a picture, it surely would
Well,
turn out.
you get trained, you'll be
Like,
good at it. It takes
you
training.
would probably have to train me,
Yeah.
because I'm telling you, if I took a picture, they probably look at it and be like, "Oh, okay, well, wait a minute, what is he doing? we never coming back here."
Yeah, I started out like that. I had to work my way up and
Man,
learn.
that's got to be
It's a good feeling.
a craft that is just
Yeah.
unbelievable and absolutely totally rewarding.
It's rewarding, yeah. It's self-rewarding, you know.
Could you see you doing anything else other than what you're presently doing?
Well, I love this, and Rico, when I say promotion, and I think you can relate to this because me and you talked, and we both in the entertainment business. I've always had this desire for promoting concerts, and so, you know, as I work with Tom, I'm a promoter, and I told Tom, you're a promoter. You know, I got that good gift to move. I'm like, Tom, we talk a lot, and Tom likes to get things done. I like that about him.
Right.
I noticed that about you. You know, as a group, you want to get things done. Some people talk a lot,
True.
but I like to get
True,
things
they
done.
do.
So I can see myself promoting and doing some production, you know, and continue to work on that, whether it be live entertainment or it could be gospel. But I like that. It's a hard job because the funny thing about it, Rico, as a promoter, everybody gets paid but you unless you sell the tickets. The band
That's
get
true.
paid, the building get paid, and you sit back there waiting. You the last person to get paid, and the tickets don't sell. Guess what? You in bad shape. So, but it's tough. But I can see myself constantly doing that, and I worked on some of those things now.
Okay.
Yeah, promoting.
Speaking about Tom Henry.
Uh-oh.
Speaking about Tom Henry, how did you first come into the presence of Tom Henry?
Oh,
Yes.
Tom. It's a funny thing because I believe that it was a part of our destiny. I believe, as well as me meeting you, I believe it was all a destiny to meet each other. Michael Henderson, which is a good friend of mine, you heard of him.
Yes.
He calls me from time to time. He said, Ben, I'm coming to Detroit. I said, cool. So I'm going to be down at the Charles Wright Museum. He said, so come on down and knock on the back door. I'll let you in. So I came down there. I didn't meet Tom at that moment, but at the Michael Henderson concert, you couldn't help from seeing an older guy like me with two cameras all on the ground trying to be young, getting down there, knees hurt, can't get up. I'm all in the aisle getting pictures, and I'm sneaking down at the stage, getting on my knees, trying to get shots. And everybody there couldn't help from seeing this older guy all over the place taking pictures. So being that when Michael Henderson is in town, the local promoters and the local like booking agents and entertainment people would all be there. So it just so happened there was this lovely group that was performing with Michael Henderson called The Love I Am.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yes,
And
yes.
they just like that shaking and going on. So
Love I Am.
Love I Am.
Yes.
So I'm getting all down, getting that picture and video while they shaking, singing with Michael Henderson. So a little bit later on, I met their manager, Silky, which happens to be their father. He said, man, I see you all over taking good pictures, and give me your card. I gave him my card, and he gave me his card. He said, well, look, next week, we're going to be here, we're going to be down at the Aretha Franklin Jazz Cafe. And come on down, there's going to be some people there. So I actually go down there, and Tom Henry was there. Tom was sitting up there in his seat looking like he was rich. And at this time, I said, yeah, this guy's sitting up here looking rich. At this time, he was with one of his other executive producers.
Okay.
They were sitting at the table. And here I am again, all over the place, getting down low, taking pictures and everything. So I came over to the table and they said, hey, how you doing? Showed my pictures. His executive producer actually said, give me your card. We need photographers. And so I gave him my card. I took a couple of pictures of Tom. Tom was nice, shook my hand and said, yeah, come on down. So he invited me out to this gym. He said, come on down to the gym, we need photographers. So I came out to the gym and they was in there working out, and from that day on, me and Tom have been good friends and business partners. I met him down there at the Aretha Franklin Jazz Cafe.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome, especially for that length of time up until now. You guys are still talking about and doing different projects. That's a beautiful thing.
I think it was a destiny for us to meet like that, and it's been a pleasure ever since, you know.
That's a good deal.
Yes,
well, I know that he has something. I know he's going to cover that when I have him come on. But I know he just recently had a casting call for a new film called Deadly Retribution.
Right.
And from my understanding, the casting call went very well. Had a lot of people show up, even had some pro actors show up.
Exactly.
So, that was a beautiful thing. Now, what is your involvement in the Deadly Retribution film?
Okay. Well, what I basically do, I enjoy working with Tom. And Tom called me in, we talked and we met. He said, Benny, man, I want you to kind of be like one of my main cameramen. I said, okay. So I work behind the scene with Tom. We collaborate together. We, just like we do, we work with getting the cameras set together. We work together with that, the right settings. Tom helped me we work with the sound, the frame, the aperture, which is getting into a lot of technical stuff. The shutter speed, he always talk about, Benny, what frame rate you using? Benny, are you shooting in 4K? Are you shooting in high def? So we work on all the technical, and I kind of like he said, Benny, I want you to work with me in the department of photography.
Good deal.
As a director, he said, I want you to work as a director of photography. I said, cool. So you can let me work as a director of photography in Dragon Film? Beautiful. So I'm been behind the scene. Now this is a secret. He told me, you got a nice role in the film. And he hasn't told me all the details yet. So I'll probably do some acting right there with you, Rico, but I got a role in the film, and I'm gonna let the audience kind of leave them on their seat to find out what it is, but it should be really exciting. And I just told Tom, I can't wait to perfect my art, show my emotions, show my imagination, my body language, as you say, show my body language. I hope I got something real gritty where I can get it, I can dig into something real good. And let me go, let me at it, let me get them, So as well as I know there's going to be some humor, some drama. So I'm going to have a part in that too. And basically, like I said, I'll be working behind the scene, getting still pictures of everybody, and working with him in the department photography, and getting some scenes and different clips.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I'm just looking forward to it.
I'm quite sure. I can't wait to see you. The perfecting photography and videography person. Now, depending on the role that you play, I really want to see you play a bad guy.
Oh.
Because me personally, I know you're such a nice guy. I would love to see that other side of you and see how well it can be brought out. Because I know you have the ability to do so, and I also know Tom has the ability to bring it out.
To help you, yeah.
So I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Like you say, you got to get into character. You got to get into character, and when you do that, think about the last time you had a fight when y'all beat somebody up. I can really get mean. Yeah, so, you got to get into character. So.
Okay, here's another question. Which is harder, photography or videography?
Videography? That's a good question. Here's the thing. The reason why I started out in photography, and actually photography is one of the main things, but when I went to school, we called 70% of what's in photography is also in videography. And that's the thing, didn't make it there's not that much of a transition. You have to work with your aperture. You have to work with your shutter speed, work with composition, okay? And the thing about videography is that on my camera, I have a little tracking device. I can set it, And whenever my subject moves, it follows my subject.
So it pans
It
with them.
pans my subject.
It pans with them.
Exactly. So
Okay.
you have to learn these things. It pans with them, and as it pans, it keep the subject in focus.
Wow.
So it's amazing. You can walk all over the place. I keep them in focus. So it's not that much different. It's just that still photography, you're still working a lot more of the camera. You got all kind of things you do, like you said. And here again, both cameras have to do white balance. Tom white balance, we white balance together. With my still camera, I have to white balance. So 75% of the stuff in photography is also in videography.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So the white balance, is the white balance the situation where you get the presence to come into the camera for the actual picture itself, for the programming, for the colors and all that? Is that what white balance
Yes,
is?
you said it right. It's basically for the color. When you come into a scene, and Tom is really good at this, and you go into any particular scene or building, you have no idea what the lighting is like unless you get there early. So when you get there, the camera will look and it won't automatically balance how the color look. The key is to try to make everything look as natural as way me and you look. When you look in the camera, it could be orange looking.
Right.
But you want to make like that nice pretty shirt you got on. You want that nice blue pop. Yeah, that's nice.
You know how I do.
You saw it.
You know how
Your
I do
jewelry,
it.
everything wants to look as much as natural. So when you put a white sheet in front of it and you white balance it, that sheet turns everything white. So when you get ready to film, it's going to now give you the true natural color of the scene right there. And that's what makes it look good. Just the way we're looking here, the camera comes out that way and it's nice and clear and the color is adjusted. So we have to white balance to get the color adjusted. It's amazing. You got to get that done right.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Just to think about the concept of that.
The concept.
Is mind blowing.
Yeah, you have to get that. Always do that. Tom, always white balance wherever you go.
Okay, I have one final question for you, Benny.
It's been a pleasure.
One final question. For all of the individuals out there that want to get into photography and videography and to be successful at it, what knowledge do you have to give them?
Well, the first thing it is, you have to see if you enjoy this. I was telling Tom, I said, God is good, Rico, because I got a
Yes,
chance.
he is.
God is good. I got a chance to work with a company doing what I love doing. And for me to be doing photography, I love this. And I'm doing what I like. And when you enjoy it, once you get into it, if you can feel yourself going, take a class. Because everybody try to go out and get a card and get a camera and say they're a photographer. It don't work like that. You need to take a class. I learned so much in the class. And I had to learn the business side of photography. Who owns the right of that picture? You need to learn all of that. You have to have models to sign forms and let them know I own this. I'm going to be using your picture as I do my advertising. So it's so much to learn. If you get into it and you love it, continue to go for it because it's endless.
Wow.
It's so much you can learn. You just never can stop learning. And once you learn it and once you like it, you can do it and you can make some money doing what you enjoy. You can make some money doing what you enjoy, and it's just beautiful to catch scenes like that I caught over there. And I froze that scene. I can always look at that and go back to that moment. Things like that, and catching people happy. Most of the time, you catch a person happy and feeling good. So you get all these beautiful shots that you can have. Then you can edit these things. There's so much you can do. I would tell them to go for it and never give up.
You know what?
Never give up.
The best thing in life is being able to do what you enjoy and what you love every single day.
That's a blessing.
Benny, it's been my pleasure, man. It's about time we got you on here. It's been a joy. I appreciate all the knowledge that you've given
Well, thank you.
and coming in and giving me a new outlook on photography and videography. I greatly appreciate you, my brother.
Thank you, and it's a
We're going to
pleasure.
have you back soon.
Okay, it's been a pleasure, and I enjoyed being here, and it's just been a total pleasure. Thank you, Rico.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we're getting ready to go out of Rico L studio at this time. But I definitely want to thank my guest again, Mr. Benny Scott from Scott Cam Photography and Promotion. I hope you were enlightened. I know I was enlightened. And you got a lot of good, great information on him as who he is and what he does. But right now, we're going to have to pay a few bills here at Rico L Studio. So we're going to go to a commercial, and once we come back, we're going to be with the independent filmmaker, Mr. Tom Henry. Welcome back to Rico L Studio, to Detroit Uncut. As I told you before I left, we're going to be having another guest today. And this guest is an award-winning filmmaker. He's also been given the title of the Godfather of film in the Detroit metropolitan area. So, no further ado, I present to you Tom Henry. Hey Tom, how you doing, man? You all right?
Yes, sir.
Now this guy here, I've been trying to get him on for a while. You know, he's out doing casting calls. He's doing all these different types of things. His agenda is so huge, and his star ability is such a success that it's hard to get him. So I was able to get him today. Because why? I'm Rico L. That's why. But I want to focus on some things with Tom. Tom.
Yes, sir.
First of all, how you doing today, bro?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Now that I'm here with you, I'm definitely fine.
Good deal. Well, you know, we got some things to cover. My first question to you is this. How did you get into the industry that you got into, and how did you come up with Dragon Films?
Well, it all started back in the late 60s and the early 70s.
Whoa.
Yeah, way back.
Okay.
Way back, yeah. During the Green Hornet days. Bruce, of course, and
Right.
I used to watch that a lot. And I used to watch the martial art movies, and it was something I really wanted to get into. So I had went to John Robert Powers and took up a little acting class there.
Okay.
And then after that, I bought myself a Super 8 camera. And you know, back with the Super 8 camera, they only had film, wasn't no video or nothing back then. So we used to go. I used to go buy the 50-foot of film and shoot. You know, go out and shoot footage. And I used to have a whole bunch of people because I was teaching martial arts pretty heavy back then. And I used to have a lot of the guys come back there in my backyard and train, and I would show them different moves, what to do, and I would shoot them on my Super 8 camera. And then, wasn't no room for error because you only had 50 feet of film, so I had to make sure everything was right before I shot it. So after that, we would go once we got everything tight. We would go out to Belle Isle and shoot our little fight scenes, and then I would see what it looked like afterward. So once the 80s came along, I went down to this stunt camp down in Boston, Massachusetts. And I found out what they were teaching down there was pretty much what I was doing up here. So I said, man, I'm on the right track, you know. So I knew then, I said, I want to do movies. I definitely want to do movies, and that's how it got started.
Okay. In doing the movies, I know you probably saw several films. So, what films intrigued you, or what characters intrigued you in the films?
James Cagney,
Uh-oh.
Humphrey Bogart, Joan Crawford.
Oh, the heavies back then.
Yeah, I used to watch them all the time. I used to watch their personality. I used to watch their facial expressions. I used to watch how they act, how they characters portray, how they portrayed their characters on film and everything.
Right.
And I never forgot that. And I always, I realized how important it was as far as facial expressions and with your acting and everything, and the people that's in front of you, you got to, I always followed them. I followed them all the time. And that's pretty much what inspired me was them.
Okay. So, the Humphrey Bogarts, the James Cagneys, and all those different type of people, they influenced you and to go into the industry. Now, when you went into the industry, did you find it hard to promote yourself in the industry when you finally got into it? Was a lot of stumbling blocks and stepping stones that you had to encounter?
Oh yeah. What I found hard was getting the companies to promote me. Back then, when I really got into it, there was this company called Marcy and Haney.
Okay.
A lot of people probably remember, but they were the biggest industry out here. They were the one that was getting all the jobs and the modeling jobs, and for people, because I used to model too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I used to be a model. And
do you have any pictures that wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now, we got a guy on here that is talking about films and Humphrey Bogart, James Cagney, but I never heard of Humphrey Bogart and James Cagney modeling, but this man used to model. So let me ask you this question. Who was your idol, first of all, in martial arts? Who was your idol?
Oh, Bruce, without a doubt.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going somewhere with this one. So, Bruce Lee was your idol. Now, I'm going to scratch my head real quick. I'm going to ask this question.
Mm-hmm.
Did you try to look like Bruce Lee?
They said I did back in the day because I used to mimic him a lot. Yeah, trust me. I used to get teased about that.
I remember back then, all the martial arts movies that was in the city primarily was shot at the Fox downtown.
Yes.
So were you at the Fox downtown a lot? And did you remember back in the day, you used to have the Chinese uniform and then have the shoes. Did you wear those out there too?
Oh man, let me tell you, I was the Fox Theater's best customer. I never missed. I would catch the bus. I would catch the local bus down to the Fox Theater every week because it wasn't but $1 to get in there.
Okay.
And you could stay in the theater all day. They didn't have you watch one movie and then put you out. You could pay that $1 and stay in there all day. And then the part that really tickled me the most was when everybody got ready to leave. Everybody were kung fu experts when they walked out of that theater. Man, it was funny. Everybody was kung fu experts, and because I was teaching everybody on the North End, I'm from the North End.
You about that Claremont business.
Yeah, man. Because I was teaching everybody over there, I always got the challenges, man. They were steady coming, and and everybody that come out of the theater, they were all kung fu experts, and there was always this guy. It was always this African American guy that was out there selling the Bruce Lee posters, man. I had every Bruce Lee poster you could think of, and there was only $1. Couldn't beat it. And I never missed a week. Like I say, I was the Fox Theater's best customer back then.
Well, you know, I'm thinking about a movie. I'm trying to remember the name of it in my head. But there were two prominent characters. There was one called Bruce Leroy.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was a guy called Show Nuff. Show Nuff used to walk around talking about he was the master and have everybody kiss his Converse.
Yep.
And then Bruce Leroy had to realize that he was the master at the end.
Yep.
You know, me being who I am, I'm pretty good at finding out things. I want you to know that. So I think I'm going to locate a Tom Henry Bruce Leroy picture. So I don't want you to, I just want you to be elated. I don't want you to be upset or anything, but I'm going to find that picture because I think I know some people that can facilitate me with that picture. So I guarantee you it's probably going to pop up. So did you have the braids or did you have like the Jerry curl back then? Did you have were you ripped? What was it, Tom?
Oh man, I had the Jerry curl back then because I was wearing a big afro back in them days, and then all of a sudden they came out with the Jerry curl. I said, I gotta try it. And then I tried the Jerry curl, and man, it got so huge. I mean, it just kept getting longer and longer and longer, and man, they got to teasing me, and I can't even tell you the names I was getting called.
Well, unfortunately for me, as you can see, I'm following your challenge, you know. I used to have hair back in the day, even had a little ponytail, but you can't tell that now because I only got 7 that stay up here, so I make sure I count them every single day. But, you know, talking about that, what was your style of martial art that you taught? And what were the people that were coming to you? Were there any other people that were doing anything else, such as boxing or something like that, they come to you? Could you explain that to me?
Yeah. What made me what put me over the top with everybody was that the first style I took up was Taekwondo.
Okay.
Then there was another school called Karate and Judo Schools of America. I know you probably remember them.
Yeah.
Then I got into Kung Fu, and I liked Kung Fu much better because it was more fluid, and you know it made you more natural. You know you weren't moving stiff and rigid.
Because in Taekwondo and a lot of the other styles, you have to get in certain stances in order to perform the hit, the kick, the counter. You got to get in certain stances, and I understand that. And other different martial arts, even that, it's more of a natural reaction that you come. So I do understand that.
Yeah.
Now, what is your favorite move, and what was the latest style that you liked and kept on perfecting?
I would say that when I got to studying the Jeet Kune Do thing,
See,
techniques.
now I'm gonna tell you folks something. Now he just said Jeet Kune Do, right? Now Jeet Kune Do was a style that Bruce Lee made and perfected and taught here in the United States, and it was supposed to have been outlawed for him to teach his style here because it wasn't the philosophy that he was taught. So now we got Tom out here teaching Jeet Kune Do. Okay, Tom.
Yeah, and I got a lot of backlash from that. Believe me. What made me what put me over the top was that I was training with I was teaching boxers from the Considine. Okay. I got so good at it, they actually gave me a school. They had me to open up a school up there at the Considine.
Good deal.
And I was teaching the boxers. Even the boxing instructor, he started training with us, and we started trading off. They would teach me. I was learning boxing from them, and they were. I was teaching them martial arts. So I started training pretty heavy with boxing. I never told nobody that, because I'm the one that got Gene. my brother Gene into boxing.
Okay.
I was doing it before Gene did. I never let nobody know of that. And the boxers that started coming down to my school, I think I had to be the first one to actually have a brand new big garage built, not for cars, but for a school. I opened up a school. I had a garage built just to teach classes. And the boxers from the Considine all started coming down. And because I was teaching the Jeet Kune Do stuff, I started getting challenges. So the challenges started coming, and I would beat them real easy because they were just used to that one-dimensional style. Me, I was adding the boxing, the wrestling, the judo, and all that stuff in there because I was training with boxers. I never let them know that until they actually started fighting with me and stuff, and then they realized that I had more than just martial arts skills.
Okay, so you kind of like were the mid lane into jiu-jitsu then, because if you were going into the grappling and the wrestling and stand-up and all that, you were kind of dealing with jiu-jitsu as well. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I never will forget this tournament I was in. The instructor, he pulled me to the side and he told me, he said that, this is when I was in Taekwondo. He said, "Mr. Henry, that's not Taekwondo." And I said, I told him, I said, what difference does it matter? As long as it, it's effective and it worked. That's not Taekwondo. So I had to go in the corner and do 25 push-ups and sit in the corner, So I said, after that, I moved on, because they didn't appreciate what I was doing because I was, easily beating their guys, and I wasn't fighting the way their guys fight, because they was one-dimensional. I wasn't, so I moved on.
I'll tell you what, don't mess with him out on the street now. Because you might, all that, he has this very sincere and very calm nature about him, but, understanding everything that he's talking to us about right now, I probably wouldn't want to try him if I saw him out on the street. But we're going to catapult a little bit back into Dragon Films.
Mm-hmm.
How did you come to the name Dragon Films? Because I have an idea, but I just want to see if it's what you're going to say.
To be honest with you, I think it had a lot to do with Bruce.
Okay.
I would have to say it had a lot to do with Bruce.
Can I say one thing, if I may? Because my mind is telling me this, and I don't know, but was it because of the movie Enter the Dragon?
Yes, sir. You got 100% right.
Okay. All right. So you came up with Dragon Films for that. Now, when you came up with Dragon Films initially, were you always the LLC, or were you?
No, I had came up. When I first came up, I was calling it Black Dragon Films.
Okay.
Yeah, when I used to call it Black Dragon Films. Then I converted the name over to Dragon Films. Now that was back in the '90s, and then I didn't become an LLC until 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you weren't an LLC then, were you a DBA?
DBA.
You were a DBA? Okay. Was it more advantageous for you to be an LLC instead of a DBA? Is that why you transitioned over?
Yes, and because I got to studying more and learning about, what would be better for me, DBA or LLC, and I found out the LLC was better, much better for me to get into, business-wise,
Okay. I'm going to push a little bit forward even more. The first film that you ever did, what film was that?
Called Uncut the Movie.
Uncut. Okay. Tell me a little bit about Uncut.
Yeah. Uncut, I had came up with that idea back in 2004. I had wrote it. And, let me go back a little further.
Okay.
There was another movie that I had did, that I had wrote, and I didn't have the film equipment to shoot it. So I had one of the guys that I was teaching. He did have the film camera, so he didn't know nothing about using the film camera. So I would teach him how to use it and everything.
Okay.
And so, because I didn't know the business that well, he took my script and went and had it. He went and had his name and everything put on it, and you know what I'm
Did he
saying?
copyright
Yeah,
it?
you got to copyright it.
Okay.
And I deserved that because I didn't know the business. So I really wasn't mad at him, I was mad at myself because I didn't take the time to learn the business. And he went and got it copyrighted, and when I told him that you know, he was telling me he didn't want to take the time to shoot the angles that should be shot. And I told him, I said, man, I can't have you shooting the scene without shooting all the angles because the fight scene is not going to come out right. So he said, no, it's going to do. He want to do it the way he want to do it. I said, okay, I'll tell you what, I'm going to move on and just find somebody to shoot my film. And then he said, oh no, you can't do that. I own the rights to the film. And I said, you what? And then he showed me where he had got it copyrighted. I said, okay. You know, I told him, I said, I'll tell you what you do. You keep that film. I'll write another one. As long as I got this, I'll write another one. You keep it. And so I met with the people because I had did the casting myself, and all the people that I cast, they all knew me. So I met with them the next day, and I told them that me and the producer had a misunderstanding, and I was moving on. I told them to go ahead and finish the film, and you know, I was moving on. The very next day, I didn't know, they all walked.
Wow.
Yep, I was shocked. They walked.
Loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
Strict loyalty.
Mm-hmm. And I was surprised about that. And so that's what made me come up with Uncut. So I decided to write a script about Uncut, which was dealing with this well-known club and this well-known guy that was good at running the club. And that's why I came up with the idea for Uncut.
I have an idea who that person was. I do have an idea. So Uncut, when the movie was completed, and
Before you even go any further, let me tell you something about Uncut. It was a very big challenge for me because 98% of the people in that movie were not actors. You know, I had it was around about 150 people came out for the casting call. It was so many people. People was coming out, you know, coming in from Canada.
okay.
And back then, this was back in 2006. You know, back then, you know, people they couldn't wait to get involved with movies, you know. So, after I did the casting, I had the whole acting classes to teach the people how to act.
Oh, so
And that was separate. And then I had also a whole stunt camp to teach you people how to fight. So it was challenging.
okay, so you had to have acting classes. You had to have a stunt camp, the acting classes to show them how to show their emotion and get their emotion across, and the stunt camp, pretty much how to sell a punch, a kick, or an expression.
Yep.
Okay, let me ask this question then. When you did that, what was your budget? What was the monetary strategy that you was working with?
Zero.
So you mean to tell me you got 98 people to commit their time and their effort, go to acting classes, go to stunt camps, do the film, and you had zero
Budget.
for budget?
Yep.
Wow.
And-
Now,
and-
wait a
and-
minute, wait a minute.
mhm.
Now, that is something that's unheard of. How did you pull that off? How were you able to do that with no revenue? I mean, how were you able to pull that off? Because you had to have sets, you had to have wardrobe, all these amenities you had to have. So how did you pull it off?
What I did was I kept it real. I went to everybody that I talked with and told them what, you know, I didn't have no budget and what I was doing, what my plans were, you know, as far as doing the film.
Yeah.
And because I was honest with them, they came right along. Even the one that really shocked me the most was the limousine company. They let me use all of their limousines and their limousine bus.
Wow.
And he told me all he wanted in return was 2 tickets to the premiere. I was shocked. And then I had one modeling company let me use all his models, because when I told him, you know, what I was doing and I was honest with him, he said he was in 100% and let me use all his models. He said if I need anything else, let him know. I
Wow.
was shocked.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Because normally in anything, especially something as big as this, you know, you have to construct a budget in order even for anybody to believe in you and to continue. They got to see that there's a plan and there's a way to progressively move the plan forward. So for you being able to do a film, have 98, basically 100 people to commit to the film and get the film done is unbelievable. Where was the film, the premiere at for Uncut?
It was shown at the Renaissance Theater downtown. And
Wait. You had no budget. You got all these individuals to commit their time, their effort, their strengths, their weaknesses, their vulnerabilities, and you show the movie at the Renaissance down in the heart of Detroit.
Yep. And let me tell you how I pulled that off. I had no money to get that theater, so I had to think of a plan. So I came up with the idea. I said, wait a minute, if I order the tickets in advance, then I'll meet with everybody and tell everybody to try to sell 10 tickets to their friends. And so I met with people and I had them to, you know, I gave all of them 10 tickets apiece, and they all sold tickets, because back then, when people were shooting films back in 2006, everybody was going to DVD. You know, all the independent filmmakers, they wasn't going to the theater. They would shoot an independent film and they would go straight to DVD. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go to the theater. I wanted to be like the big boys.
Right.
So I had to come up with a plan to do it. So I had all the people to sell tickets, and that's how I got the money, because it was $800 and something, I think it was, $800 or $900.
Wow, it would
To
probably
rent
be
the theater back then, which was big money back then.
it would probably be $5 to $6 grand.
Oh yeah, and it was a complete sellout. Matter of fact, we ran out of room.
Wow.
The people at the theater got to bring in chairs in, because all the seats were filled, so they got to bring in chairs in for people. And after they ran out of chairs, so I had to do a second showing because I ran out of room.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
No money, but accomplish all those things just with you being who you are and the commitment of the people. That was just, and to have a limousine service, a modeling service that are pretty much, excuse my French, hell bent on revenue, to just commit to you openly and willingly. That's just unbelievable. That's just totally unbelievable.
And Greg Russell stepped in and helped out.
Channel 4, Greg Russell?
Yep. He stepped in and helped out, and I gave him a little small part in the film. He helped out tremendously.
So, okay, I'm done with that, because that's a little bit too much for me to fathom. I'm done with that. Let me move on. Okay, I'm looking at your shirt here, and it says "Act of Vengeance." So, tell me a little bit about that movie and when that movie came into focus.
Act of Vengeance was my second film, and when I did that, I wanted to go to another level as far as talent. And I had talked with the owner of the gym, because he was at a boxing show, and I seen him at the boxing show, and you know, he was sitting there, you know, he was waiting on some people, and I got to talk with him, and I told him, I said, you know what, I'm gonna make you a star. And he said, yeah, right, Tom. I said, no, I'm serious. You know, I told him, I said, I want you to be the star of my next film. And he said, you serious? I said, yes, I'm serious. So, you know, we got together like that, and then it didn't do for me to see you in the gym working out. I seen you working out one day, and because I had a part for a heavy, you know, a guy to play a heavy in the film, a bad guy. And when I seen you working out, and I seen you working out with the weights, and I said, man, this would be great. I said, this would be just what I'm looking for right here, because I was looking for a guy that didn't say much, and let his action do the talking for him. And I said, let me go over and talk to him. And I said, all you can do is say yes or no, and you surprised me. You didn't give me no hard time in that. You was all in.
Well, I'm gonna tell you guys. Back then I was in the gym, and I think I was benching like 500 that day.
Man, yes.
And you know, here's this guy I see all the time, running around with this camera. Every time I turn around, I see this guy. And not only that, but there was a gym that I used to go to was called Detroit Boxing Jungle. And Detroit Boxing Jungle, you know, had powerlifters in there, mixed martial artists, boxers, the whole nine. So I was able to work my way around everything in one gym. But this particular day, here's this guy come in with these braids in his hair, and he walks up to me, and this was probably back in about 2003, I think, 2002, 2003. And he says to me, he says, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "I'm doing good. How you doing, brother?" He said, "I'm good." He said, "Hey, I'm Tom Henry, and I do films, and I got a part just for you." Just like that. I said, "Okay, you got a part for me." He said, "Yeah." He said, "You know, the guy that I need has got to be strong." He said, "And I don't need him to say anything. I just need to let his actions speak for him." And I said, "Okay, I'm with it." So I never thought about even getting into anything like that, you know. And the funny part about it is there's one particular scene in there. I'm not going to talk about it. But there's one particular scene that he customized for me, but I'm thankful because that's kind of like my signature move for my first acting situation. So for that, you know, I'm very grateful and always have been. It's just unbelievable. Act of Vengeance. Where was Act of Vengeance premiered at?
Oh, we showed that at this beautiful theater, the Senate Theater. I forget the name of the street that it's on, but it
I know it was in the heart of Detroit.
Yes, and the theater just make you think back to the good days, back to the 70s. The theater was beautiful, and for us to be able to show our movie there, that really got me going.
What was your budget for that film?
Zero.
Wow. Okay, let's move on. We got another zero. We're gonna get to some revenue some way, shape, or form. Okay, you had another movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the name of that movie was called Fatal Brew. Tell us a little bit about Fatal Brew.
Yeah, Fatal Brew, I came up with the idea because I've seen all of these energy drinks out here, and a lot of people don't realize a lot of these energy drinks are dangerous, and they don't realize the effects that they can get from it, from these energy drinks. And that's what made me come up with the idea for Fatal Brew. Fatal Brew is about this energy drink that's killing people, and the powers that be is doing everything they can to keep it on the down low.
And was that movie premiered?
Yes, it was premiered at the main art theater in Royal Oak.
Okay.
And actually it was premiered at two theaters. It was premiered at the main art theater in Royal Oak, and it was also premiered at the AMC theater. And I jumped for joy when I was able to get it at the AMC theater.
Wow. So you had two premieres. So you must have had a huge showing, a huge of people come out. That's why you had to have it at two?
Yeah, I had to have it at two because a lot of people couldn't make it that particular night, and we ran out of room, seating capacity wise. So
wow.
I had to do another showing.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else in the works currently? I'm quite sure you do because I heard about this new film called Deadly Retribution.
Yes.
Because you just had a casting call at the Ford Community and Performing Arts. You had it there, and from my understanding, it was a great turnout, a lot of actors, and you had some pro actors that was there just to come to support that have been around for a while. And when is the actual filming for that particular movie is going to be?
Sometime in July, the middle part of July, and we're going to have a big fundraiser for this particular film, June the 12th, which is on a Sunday, and because we plan on raising big funds for this particular. This is the big one, as they said in 007. This is the big one, and we plan on this particular film being huge, and we want to be able to hire a lot of talent here in the city of Detroit. Not only just the talent, but the people that work behind the scenes and everything. So we want to try to raise as much money as we can for this particular film.
Okay. For the fundraiser, what is the attire? Is there a certain attire that
Yes.
you're having at the fundraiser? What is the attire?
Black tie.
Black tie?
Yes.
Okay. For the
Dressed
black,
to impress.
all right, dress to impress. For the black tie event, is it going to be dinner? Is it going to be dancing? I mean, what does it encompass?
Yes, this is going to be huge because we're going to have live entertainment. We're going to have dinner. We're going to have live call-ins. We're going to have special guests. I even hear the mayor is even coming out. So this is going to be huge. And the tickets are $50. And we also have VIP tables, that's $500. So this is going to be a very big event.
Okay, me. One of the people that I know, they told me that one of my favorites, his name is Michael Nelson, and he has a band called Diversity, that he's going to be there. And, you know, Benny was on before you were, and Benny talked about the group called Love I Am. And I found out that I call them the Songbirds, because I did get a chance to hear them sing. I call them the Songbirds. And I heard that they're going to be performing too. So you got two great groups, because Mike Nelson is unbelievable.
Yes,
Mike
he is.
Nelson
Yes,
can
he
play
is.
every freaking instrument that's created. He sings out of this world, and Love I Am just takes you to a place that you
Yes,
don't
they do.
want to return from.
Yes, they
So
do.
I guarantee you now, is it going to be a situation where is it going to be buffet style for the dinner? Are we going to have wine or champagne or anything like that? Are those different types of things going to happen there?
All of the above.
All of the above, good deal. So
Yep.
that means that people are going to come out. They're gonna get some good information on the fundraiser. They're going to know why the fundraiser is being done. They get a chance to understand what's trying to happen in the city of Detroit, trying to get Detroit back on the map in the film industry, trying to get all the actors to come out of the woodwork
Right.
in Detroit and get involved, trying to get all of the political instruction around Detroit to come and get involved. You know, that's a great thing. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know what I did with it, but you know what? This is what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back at Detroit Uncut with your host, Rico L.
Dragon Films clothing and merchandise store. Your one-stop variety store.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Detroit Uncut with your host, Rico L., and with our special guest, Mr. Tom Henry. Tom, we're back. One of the things that I wanted to talk about and that we didn't mention is Dragon Films, the magazine. Tom, how did you come up with Dragon Films, the magazine? What made you come up with your magazine?
That's something I had been wanting to do for quite a few years. I had took the time to think about it, and I wanted to talk about the industry, all the stuff that's going on here in the city of Detroit, and the industry period. So I thought about coming up with a magazine and just naming it Dragon Films, the magazine, you know.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much right after the company, Dragon Films,
Yes.
Dragon Films, the magazine.
Uh-huh.
So I see that you got in here, it's talking about exploring film, TV, and production in Metro Detroit. So how can people get in touch with you in reference to the magazine? Is this magazine, matter of fact, you know what, I saw the magazine in Southfield,
Mm-hmm.
you know, on the rack at a BP gas station. I
Okay.
saw it, it was crazy, and I also saw it out in Westland at an urgent care. You know, I was like, okay, so he's actually getting this thing around. It's actually circulating all over the place. So is it just a situation where there's a lot of different structural places where the magazine is, or people going buying it off the rack, or what is it, Tom?
Well, yeah, it's going to be, we have it in different areas, and matter of fact, we're going to have it all over the state of Michigan. And that's our goal, to get it all over the state of Michigan. And, you know, we got it, you know, that's the first issue there, you know, by the way, but we had put it on hold for a minute, and we're going to get it back started a little bit after June, because we had all this casting and all this other stuff we had to do, so we had to kind of put it on hold for right now.
Wow. You know what's funny? We got Tom Henry. He's doing films. He's getting people to commit without having a budget. He's getting limousine services. He's getting models. You know, he's coming out with Dragon Films, a magazine. I don't know, maybe Tom Henry will have his own bank pretty soon called Dragon Bank. I don't know. But I'll tell you, Tom, it's been a complete pleasure of mine, man, have you on the show.
Appreciate you, brother.
I hope to have you back again. You know, I had two great guests today. Benny Scott from Scott Am Photography and Promotions, and my man right here, Tom Henry, independent filmmaker, award-winning independent filmmaker, Tom Henry from Dragon Film. My name is Rico L. from Rico L Entertainment, Detroit Uncut. I'm your host, and this is the end of a very exciting show. So we can't wait to have you back into the Rico L studio for our next coming show. God bless.